Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome back to Woodland Wanderers. If you've been following us each day, you will know we now have 3 clues from Woodland Wesley, the Woodland Tracker. Follow me, listen and obey, and even the wind and waves obey him. Wonder what he has for us today. So, good morning, Dr. Falls. Have you had your breakfast yet?
Good morning.
Have you had your breakfast yet?
No.
Oh, that's good, because this morning I am going to test your sense of taste.
Ooh.
Now, you have to, I'm going to trust you to shut your eyes. Okay, you ready, everybody? I'll show you what it is, and Dr. Falls won't know, and we'll see if he can guess.
Is it a blueberry?
Can you open your eyes? Yes, it was. 1 point to Dr. Falls. Close eyes again.
Is that strawberry?
No. Do you want to have another try?
A raspberry?
Yes. But you don't get a point because you didn't guess it first time.
Oh,
Close your eyes. Wait a minute.
Oh, this one's got a noise.
Yeah. Right. There's more than one, so I'll just drop that in. Whoop, 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 whoop. Right.
It's not a berry.
No, but you might find them in the forest, maybe. Think tree.
Have you fed me a pine cone?
No, don't be silly.
It tastes a bit nutty.
Yep. What kind of nut is it?
A pine nut.
Yes, 2 points. Here's another one. Close your eyes. Now, you'll need to take a bite this time. Yep, bite down and...
Oh, I know what that is. Yum, yum, yum. It's a strawberry.
You're right. 3 points. Now, close your eyes. It's another rustly one.
Oh, I've lost it.
Oh, no, here it's here.
I hope you haven't dropped it in the floor.
No. I've got another wee package that I need to open. Ready?
Uh-huh.
It's a bit wet.
Oh my god.
You don't like it? Oh dear, Dr. Falls, but can you guess what it is?
It's okay, I'm scared.
You're right, Dr. Falls. However, excuse me, boys and girls. She got it right, but she didn't like it. I've got one more.
Oh good. I really, really don't like
How many
gherkins.
points have we got now? How many points have we got now? 3. Last one. Shut eyes. It's another bitey one. Right, bite. Big bite.
Oh, it's a tomato.
Correct. Dr. Falls, you did really good there.
Oh. Well, most of that was delicious, but I hope I'm not so full that I can't dance to her song for the week. I am ready to boogie to Let's Get a Little Crazy.
Come on, clap your hands. Here we go. That's it. Yeah, we're all in this together and we're having fun. We're here to spread the love of God to everyone. Gonna get a little crazy, yeah, a little wild. Here we go now, come
nauseous. Oh, I shouldn't have busted all the moves to that song.
Are you sure it's not because you were dancing and singing around with your mouth wide open? What if a bug flew in? Oh well, time for our first craft of the day.
Hello and welcome to Woodland Wanderers Day 4 Welcome Craft. Today we are thinking about some of the insects which are in the forest or in the woods, and we are going to be making a ladybird puppet. So hold on and I'll show you what materials you need to make this craft. To make our woodland ladybird, you are going to need some scissors, a black pen, a red pen, a pencil, some glue, half a sheet of red paper, which is A5, which is half of A4, and half a sheet, that's A5 size, of black paper. And you're also going to need a wee square of white paper. If you don't have red paper or black paper, you can use white paper, and when we draw the circles you can colour those in the right colours, and I'll tell you how many you'll need just in a moment. You need a glass and a cup or something that are in those proportions so that you can use them to draw circles with. So this will be a circle. I'll use the glass to draw the head of the ladybird, and I'm going to use this cup or this mug rather, to draw the body of it. So that's the kind of proportion size wise. The body's got to be bigger than the head. So just have a wee look round your house for things that you can use to help you to draw circles. So I'm going to take my black piece of paper first, and I'm going to use my pencil, and I am going to draw round my glass. So I've got a circle, and then I'm going to draw round my cup. So I've got another circle, or I could do that on a piece of white paper and then colour those in black. And then I'm going to cut round where my lines are that I drew with the circle. If you find any of this tricky, don't forget to ask an adult to give you a wee hand. So there's my first circle, and here is my second circle. So I've got a head and I've got a body now. And I can get, I'd want to hold on to this black paper because I'm going to need that for later, for some of the other bits I'm going to put onto my ladybird. So I just take my glue and put a line of glue along the bottom of my smaller circle, and kind of in the middle stick it onto my larger circle. Then I'm going to take my red piece of paper and I'm going to half it in two. And then I'm going to take my cup and I'm going to draw around that. And these are going to be the wings. Or if you've not got red paper, if you get another white piece of paper, then you can do the same thing and then colour, once you've cut your circle out, or once you've drawn your circle, colour it red and then cut it out. Now because I've half that, folded it in half, when I cut round it and get rid of that red piece of paper now, I get two circles, and I can get rid of my cup and my glass. Then I'm going to take these and I'm going to fold them in half. So I'm matching up the edges so that it's now a semicircle, and this is going to be the ladybird's wings. I'm going to do the same with the other one. Then I'm going to turn that over so that the bit that's been glued on is on the other side. Then I'm going to take these two and I'm going to place them on like that so that there's a V in the middle. Now, so I know where to where to put my glue, I'm just going to put a line on there like that. And I know that I'm going to put my glue to stick the wings on with the other side of that line. So right up to the middle at the top, because it's a kind of V shape, isn't it? So I'm gluing it on so I've got a V shape. And then I'm going to put my 2 wings on so they touch at the top and they're down like so. So can you see that? But can you see that I've got flappy wings? Ladybirds, of course, are famous for having spots. Take my glue, put it at the side. So I'm going to draw my spots on. I want to make them quite big so that I can see them. I'm going to do 3 on each side, but you could do as many as you like. Making sure I make those nice and black. I don't miss out bits so that they're black. So now I've got my ladybird with her spots on her wings. And this is where I need my wee scrap of white paper, because I'm going to draw 2 circles for the ladybird's eyes. So they should be about the size of a 1p piece. So there you are, I've done 2. And then I'm going to stick those on the head or the face so that we've got 2 eyes. So there's number 1. If I folded that over, of course, I would only need to cut this twice. Cut this once, sorry, and I'd have got 2 eyes out of it instead of having to do it twice. So there it's there, just show you. So 2 circles about the size of a 1p piece. Again, I'm going to put some glue on that and then stick it onto the head. Maybe a bit glue on. Stick it onto the head. And then I'm going to take my black pen again and I'm going to draw a wee semicircle or a wee rainbow on my ladybird's eyes. Now remember I said not to throw away the black paper. Well, this is when you're going to need it now. So I'm going to need a strip of paper. So I'm going to cut up about the length of my scissors, about a 1 centimetre wide piece of paper. So it looks like this. And then I'm going to cut up the middle so it looks like that. So I've now got 2 pieces. So they're about 1/2 centimetre in width and it's maybe about 6 centimetres in length. And these are going to be the ladybird's feelers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll them. Now I'm not going to fold them, I'm just going to roll them. And then when I unravel it, so I'm rolling it back on itself right to the end, kind of giving it a wee squish as I go, but not folding it. And then when I take it out, it should look like that. And I'm going to do that for both of them. What you can also do, if you find that a wee bit tricky, then you could roll it round a pencil. Just giving it a good squish as you do it. There we go. And then again, you want to put a wee bit of glue on one end. Stick it underneath the head. Oops, it's sticking to my finger. There we go. And the same with the other one. Wee bit of glue. Put it onto the top half of the head. And now we have, a ladybird. Now, how do we make it into a puppet? Now, that's the secret part. If you look at this other one here, you'll see that what I've done is I've put a wee finger bridge so that I can put my finger up in there and wear so that I can wear the ladybird on my hand. Now, to do that, it's really straightforward. All you need is back to your black paper again, and then all you need is, again, about 1 centimetre wide, maybe this time about 10 centimetres long. And get rid of the black paper. So it's that kind of size and width. I kind of fold it over. I don't squish it at that end and then fold over the 2 ends. And then if you fold one way and one the other, you can see that it makes that kind of, oops, sorry, you can see that it makes that kind of U shape. And I'm going to put glue on both those wee tabs at the side. And then I'm going to put it onto the underside of my ladybird. So if I turn my ladybird the other way round, and then put my glue side there, one there to make a bridge, press down, and then I can put my finger in there. Oops. So if I show you, I can put my finger in that wee part so that I have got a lovely woodland ladybird. Oh, and look, I've got a friend.
Hi everyone, Woodland Wesley, the Woodland track here. I'm just back my morning walk around the area and I found this trail of arrows. I don't know where it leads to, maybe cake, chocolate or treasure. Let's follow it and find out. Well, that's a bit disappointing. No cake, chocolate or treasure. It seems to just be a strange word. I know how we can read it. We can use my mirror. Well, look, it reads bread. And look, there's another trail of arrows. I wonder where that leads me to as well. Oh look, it's another strange word. I'll have to use my mirror again. Look, it says fish. Can you please tell Sir Random Find that today's clues are bread and fish?
Bread and fish. What on earth does that mean? Oh, here is another woodland wanderer coming to tell us today's story. Perhaps that might help.
Jesus had sent the 12 disciples out into the country and gave them the power to heal sick people and tell others about God's love. When the disciples returned, they met with Jesus to tell him about all the people they talked with and had healed. They were all very excited to tell Jesus about their adventures. The problem was, people followed the disciples so they could find Jesus. They had seen the miracles he had done and wanted to see more. But Jesus knew the disciples wanted to talk to him. They hadn't even had a chance to eat yet. So he said to them, "Come with me and we will find a quiet place to talk and get some rest." So they went away by themselves in a boat to a quiet place. But many people saw them leaving and recognised them and ran after them on land. The boat Jesus and the disciples were in was slowed down because of wind. So the people actually got to the other side of the shore before them. When Jesus and the disciples arrived, they noticed a large crowd. Jesus felt love for these people because he knew they needed a teacher and someone to believe in. He knew that the disciples would understand. So he began teaching the large crowd many things. It was starting to get late in the day and none of the people had suppered yet. The disciples came to Jesus and said, "There is no food around here and it is already getting late. Maybe we should send the people away so they can go to the surrounding towns and get themselves something to eat." But Jesus replied, "You give them something to eat." The disciples didn't think that they understood Jesus right and said, "We can't feed all these people. We would have to work almost a year to pay for all that food." While the disciples were talking to Jesus, one of the disciples, named Andrew, noticed a small boy walking by with a small lunch. He stopped the boy and asked him what he had. He quickly ran over to where the disciples were talking to Jesus and said, "Here's a boy with 5 small loaves of bread and 2 small fish. But how far will they go among so many people?" Jesus smiled and said, "Ask everyone to sit down." There was lots of grass to sit on, so everyone was seated, all 5,000 of them. After everyone was seated, Jesus took the loaves of bread and thanked God for it. Then the disciples passed around the bread, and everyone could take as much as they wanted. He did the same with the fish. Remember, these were 5 small loaves of bread and 2 small fish, only enough for a boy to eat. There were 5,000 people all eating from this boy's small lunch, and they could eat as much as they wanted. 5,000 people is a lot of people. After everyone was full, Jesus asked the disciples to gather all the food that was left over so nothing would be wasted. After they gathered all the baskets of food, they counted them up. There were 12 baskets, still full with some bread and fish from the little boy's small lunch. His small lunch probably barely filled one of the baskets before Jesus touched it, and that is a miracle. After the people realised what had happened, they said to each other, "This must be an important person sent from God." He was much more than that.
All that chat about loaves and fishes is making me really hungry. Good job I packed a tuna sandwich for lunch today.
Would you like a gherkin to go with that?
No.
Okay. Well, while you're eating your tuna sandwich, why don't we listen to another song and join in the actions?
Let's pitch our tent.
'Cause we're here to see Jesus talk.
Let's pitch our tent. But we know that it might take a while.
There's 5,000 people waiting here.
And when he speaks, there'll be 5,000 smiles. We'll sit and wait.
Yes, everyone's happy now.
We'll sit and wait, but our food is running low.
With 5,000 people hungry here.
Should we stay or should we all go? Shout hooray, shout hooray. Jesus is here and he's fed the crowd. Shout hooray, shout hooray.
Everyone shout it out loud.
Hooray! Let's do a dance.
And give thanks to Jesus today.
Let's do a dance. 'Cause he's filled us all with joy.
Now there's 5,000 people dancing here.
Every man, woman, girl, and boy. Shout hooray, shout hooray. Jesus is here and he's fed the crowd. Shout hooray, shout hooray.
Everyone shout it out loud.
Hooray!
I finished my sandwich and I thought I heard that noise again. Does that mean it's craft time?
It does indeed. I wonder what we're making
For
now.
day 4, we're going to need a basic salt dough mix for our craft. I'm now going to show you how to do this before I show you how to make your dough fish and your mobile. So for this activity, what we need is, we need flour, plain flour. We need salt. We need sunflower oil or any oil, any household oil, and we need 100 ml of water. And I'll now talk you through how to do this. Take 8 tablespoons of flour. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's equivalent to 8 ounces if you've got scales and you've got time to weigh it out. Then we need 4 ounces of salt. So that again, if you take your tablespoon, if you don't have scales, and it will be 4 spoons of salt. So don't worry if you mix it up a wee bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now because they're meant to be heaped, I put a wee bit extra in, but if you're measuring it, then you should be fine. So what you have to do is you have to thoroughly mix your flour and your salt together. Okay, like so. Just mix them all through really well. Just use your spoon for it. Then the next stage we're going to do is we're going to add 2 teaspoons of cooking oil. Any cooking oil will do. I've got sunflower oil, so that's all I have. So sunflower oil, and I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of it. 1, oh that was a wee bit sugary, maybe a wee bit too much in mine, but that'll be fine. 1, 2, okay, and I'll just put that down. And I'm going to just mix that through, and then I'm going to add my water, and hopefully it'll become a nice pliable mix for us, like a dough. So you see me just mixing that through. I'm now going to add my water, just put it all in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my rings off. I'm just going to take my rings off in that hand, and I'm going to try and press it all together and see how it goes. And you can see it's starting to look like dough. Mums or dads can help you with this, or whoever's helping you, grands, grandpas, aunties, friends. So that's my mix coming together a wee bit now, and I'll show you in a minute. Give it a good knead. That means if you press into it, I'll see if I can make my camera a wee bit more. Let's see what I'm doing. You don't want it to be too dry, but you also don't want it to be too wet, so it's quite hard to get the right consistency. Now if it does get a wee bit too wet, all you have to do is use a bit more flour, and that won't impact on your solution at all, on your dough. So you'll see that mine is now quite a good consistency. I can lift the whole thing out the bowl, and it just looks like a big dollop of plasticine. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sugar a wee bit of the flour out onto my worktop, and knead it in a wee bit to dry it out a wee bit. Okay, and that is the salt dough ready. And what I'm now going to do is I'm going to put this in the fridge until I'm ready to do the craft, and I'll show you that in stage 2. Once you've made your salt dough, you can roll it out onto a flat surface. It's then you're going to start making your fish shapes. So you'll see from mine that I've roughly drawn some fish onto the dough with a pencil, and then it's just a case of using a knife to cut them out. So this is my first shape here. You can see that I've cut it out nice. So what I'm going to do now though is, so that when we can hang them on our mobile, you need to put a hole in it. So if you just take it and take something that'll put a wee hole. Now, if you want your fish to be swimming upways on your mobile, like this, or you can have them swimming across. I'm going to have mine swimming across, I think, but if they're really heavy, sometimes it's better if they're swimming the other way. So you just put a hole straight through, and then that's your fish ready. Well, not quite. What you could also do is, at this stage, is you could put a wee design on your fish. So you could either maybe put some spots on it with a fork, put a wee design on it so that it looks a wee bit different. You see, it gives it a nice wee spotty fish. This can be my wee spotty dog fish. And it's best to do this before you paint it as well. And then I think what I'll do is I'll do little lines on the fins to make it a wee bit different. I've just used the blunt end of a knife for that to give it a wee bit of texture. And there's different things that you can use to make your designs, whatever you've got in the house. So that's it ready now to go on the baking tray. So I'm going to put that onto my greaseproof paper. And once I've made all my fish, you can see that I've made different shapes. There's fat ones, thin ones, long ones. Once I've cut all them out and put them on the baking tray and added their texture, remember the hole though, I'm going to put them in the oven now, and I'm going to put them in at gas mark 1.5 for an hour, a whole hour, but keep your eye on them. They're ready as soon as they go hard. They might not go golden brown, they might go a wee bit brown, but as soon as they're hard, then that will be you ready for stage 3. Now you'll have taken your fish out the oven. They should have been nice and hard, ready to paint. So to paint mine, I used normal poster paints. This was a nice colourful palette that I had, and I just used a normal brush. And I painted each of my fish different colours and different little designs based on the textures that I'd already put on my fish. Now, once the paint had dried, I mixed a solution of glue and water. 2 parts glue to 1 part water to put a glaze over the top of my paint to give it a waterproof effect. So I painted the top half, I just put it on with a brush, top half first. Once it was dry, I turned over and did the back. Now I'm now going to string my fish ready to put on my mobile. So I used some embroidery thread in different colours, but you could use string, wool or anything you have, or even just normal thread. Now you want to have half your thread, so you're going to put through the end that's halved, you're going to put that through your fish's eye, the little hole that you already made when we were making our fish. I'll push mine through with a pair of scissors so that the loop comes through and you're not pulling it right through the thread, and then you're taking the end and you're putting it through the loop, and that will attach your fish like so. So your fish should be hanging like that. Now I've already started my mobile, and to do that what I did was I got a stick, a normal stick, I put some string on it so that it held, and then I've just attached my little fish to it. And I'll just attach the end one here, so it would be, to attach it on, it's over the branch again. It's just a wee easy note for you to do, and then over the string and through the loop, and over the string and through the loop, and that's called a round turn and 2 half hitches. Just do a few wee hitches to hold it in place, and that would complete your mobile. Now as you can see, I've got all different coloured fish. Now I didn't design the back of my fish, I just painted them, but you would maybe like to put the patterns on both sides of your fish, because as you can see it does spin around and it looks really nice, and you could hang that in your garden or in your room or anywhere you wanted.
So today we have spoken about lots of different foods. And Dr. Falls, you have tasted lots of different foods today. Who provided you with all the things you ate today?
Well, You gave me all those yummy snacks earlier, and that disgusting gherkin. But my mum made my sandwich.
But, no, who provided your mum and me with the foods you ate, though?
Well, my mum shops at Aldi's, but you seem like a Sainsbury's kind of person.
No. Oh, I'll just have to tell you. The answer is God. God created all the plants and animals we eat, so he provided you with the food you had today.
Ah, so God created all those things, which we then use as food. I'm getting it now. So God provides for us, just like Jesus did in that story.
Yes! Isn't it amazing how Jesus loves to provide for people? He had compassion for ordinary people and provided that enormous picnic with more than enough for everyone and plenty of leftovers. Jesus has the same compassion for us and provides us what we need. Isn't it great that we can go with him on the greatest adventure ever? Before we finish, I want to leave everybody with one of my random facts. Now, sliced bread has only been a thing since 1928. I wonder what the best thing was before that. Why do you think there were 12 baskets of leftovers? Could it be that each disciple had a basket? That would be amazing.
Wow.
Now today, why don't you draw your favourite meal on a paper plate and then take a photo and send it into the Facebook page, and we can try and guess what it is you like to eat. That's it for today. Be sure and come back tomorrow for another exciting adventure. But first, let us pray.
Dear Jesus, thank you that you have time for everyone, for poor and rich, for sick and well, for young and old alike. Thank you too that we all matter to you today and that you love each and every one of us. Amen.